Hello students, today's topic is modes of transmission of diseases. So as you know, we are talking about the chapter that is human health and diseases, and various topics under this chapter we are taking daily basis. So in this sequence we are today studying about the transmission of diseases, which involves pathogens, their communication, their means of spread. So basically the diseases which are carried by the pathogens are transmitted from the reservoirs of infection, which may be a human body or the person in which the organism they are growing. They can be transmitted from one health person, that is from the infectious person to the healthy person, in following means. See, broadly the transmission can be divided into two categories, that is direct mode of transmission and indirect mode of transmission. So the pathogens of some of the disease reach the human body directly without intermediate agent. So there is no involvement of any agent or vectors like flies and mosquitoes. So such type of transmission is basically categorized under direct transmission. See, in this flow chart you can see that the direct transmission can also be broadly categorized into two categories, that is directly in contact of the one infectious person with the common healthy person, and the second one is droplet infection. So whenever there is a contact with the infectious person to a healthy person, certain diseases produce sores or lesions on the skin. Contact with the materials discharged from these sores or lesions bring about infection. Ringworm, athlete's foot, barber's itch, chickenpox, smallpox, syphilis, and gonorrhea are spread by direct contact. Kissing also spread infection. The diseases that are transmitted by direct contact are basically contagious in nature, that is communicable. Very easily they are being communicated. Likewise, the next direct type of infection is droplet infection. Some of the diseases are caught by merely being in contact in confined places, that is in when we are inside a room or a theater or a bus with an infected person. The latter throws out tiny particles by mucus, and it can be either coughing, sneezing, spitting, or even talking. These droplets may contain pathogens that may contain viruses or bacteria, which are dislodged from the inner membrane of the nasal passage or from the throat or from the lungs. Many of these diseases are droplet infections, which are when inhaled by the healthy person causes certain diseases like diphtheria, scarlet fever, influenza, common cold, measles, mumps, tuberculosis, pneumonia, whooping cough, etc. So another diseases which come when a person is in direct contact with soil may include certain bacteria which are responsible for tetanus and blood poisoning uh, can enter to the human body from the soil through injuries, etc. These are the basic direct contact diseases. Likewise, some of the direct contact diseases in which certain animals, when they bite some of the organisms, they are being transmitted from the animal's body to the healthy person's body. So you may quote the examples of viruses of rabies, which can cause hydrophobia. It is introduced through the wound caused by the bites of rabid animals, most commonly the dogs. Another one is through placental infection. In the later part of pregnancy, due to the age or injury, the placenta becomes permeable to certain pathogens such as viruses of German measles and bacteria of syphilis. The pathogens then pass from the maternal blood into the fetal blood, and which it can affect the inborn individual, that is the fetus. The next one is indirect method of transmission, in which the pathogens of certain diseases they reach to the human body through some other means, not directly from the reservoir to the healthy person. That is, intermediate agents are needed for this such type of transmission. So here it is, the very first type of indirect infection is airborne. So pathogens which may reach from the humans with air and dust, they can be epidemic typhus spread by the inhalation of the direct dried feces of the infected lice, etc. Likewise, vehicle borne diseases, in which you may have the causative organisms for dysentery, cholera, typhoid, which enters into the human digestive tract with food, water, and ice. Most of the elements which produce diseases in men also get into the body into a similar way. Some diseases are also transmitted through blood. Example, AIDS. Likewise, vector borne disease, which can be either mechanical or biological. So, vectors, the very common vector is malarial parasite, or the house flies, is that is mosquitoes and flies. They are the vector borne diseases. They cause lot of diseases in human beings. So let's take the very broad category of the organisms, that is the bacterial organisms and the diseases which they cause in human beings. So I have listed some of the important bacterial diseases which is occurring in case of human beings. So in this flow chart, or you can say in the pictorial representation, you can have the names of the different bacterial diseases like cholera, diarrheal disease, pneumonia, diphtheria, whooping cough, tuberculosis, anthrax, tetanus, plague, leprosy, and typhoid. So let's see what are the names of the different bacteria which causes these diseases. So cholera is caused by the bacteria known as Vibrio cholerae. Next is diarrheal infection. So basically the intestinal bacteria which is very common in all of the human beings is Escherichia coli, or which is commonly known as E. coli. Then pneumonia, which is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae. Diphtheria caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Whooping cough, Bordella pertussis. Tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Anthrax, Bacillus anthracis. Tetanus, Clostridium tetani. Plague by Escherichia pestis. Leprosy by Mycobacterium leprae. Typhoid by Salmonella typhi. So whatever be the means of communication, these bacterial infestation, they may cause certain abnormalities and symptoms in the body of the human beings.